good and feel good. I'm Deb Hackenberry. I'm the data manager at SHARE, as well as I co-facilitate a support group for women with DCIS. SHARE is a non-for-profit organization that's been helping people through breast and ovarian cancer for 42 years by offering the support by people who've been there. We offer many services, including a helpline, telephone and in-person support groups, and educational programs, and all of our services are at no charge. For more information, please visit our website, sharecancersupport.org. I'd like to introduce our speaker, designer, and entrepreneur, Elizabeth Gillette. She runs a New York-based fashion company that believes a scarf is the ultimate accessory. Her scarves are designed to comfort, uplift, and transform an outfit by using the best techniques and materials. Now please help me in welcoming Elizabeth Gillette.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I am pleased to be here, and I want to thank SHARE for offering this opportunity to me. As Deb mentioned, I'm an artist and a designer, and I founded my business over 20-something years ago. And through SHARE, I was able to handle my diagnosis of breast cancer more easily and understand the treatment options that I had. I still have the person's name in my phone. I noticed today that the woman that talked with me when I was not able to really talk to anyone about the decisions that had to be made and what it meant to be a mom and have breast cancer, what it meant to be a working mom, all of those things. It just made it so much easier, and I'm very grateful for what SHARE has to offer everyone. So anyway, I made it through that situation, as I don't know where all of you are in your timeline, but I wish you the most, all of my support, and I know that the scarf that you received this evening will help you feel better, and I'm going to tell you how. Excuse me a moment while I collect myself. All the designs on the collection that I produce are designed by hand, mainly with watercolor, and then they're put onto the scarves and the kimonos that I design one at a time. And most of the editions are only 12 pieces, so you're getting an original work of art. Some pieces will make a bigger print run when we get a large customer, be it a private label customer or a regular branded customer like Garnet Hill or Anthropologie. And we do sell our pieces through those two retailers, a few specialty stores, and also through our website. If you have any questions, you can always reach out through one of those venues. But I started my business when I lost a scarf, and that scarf was the thing that made me feel good. It was my security blanket. It was the thing that people would compliment on when I got in an elevator or when it fell on the floor at a restaurant. People would say, oh, it feels so good, or it looks so beautiful. Where did you get it? I knew what was going to happen one day. And when I lost the scarf, I wasn't surprised, but I was quite perplexed that I couldn't find one anywhere in Manhattan. So I designed my own, over-dyeing velvet in the bathtub. I stitched it up moments before I was going to go out, and when I was on the train, someone was pawing at my shoulder, asking, where can I get that scarf? And even now, it makes the hair on my arm stand up, because it's so exciting, because I sort of knew when I was stitching it that it might turn into something, and by golly, it did. I got orders that same week from the Whitney Museum store and Barney's, and within a very short amount of time, I had orders from Neiman Marcus. All of this happening through my 4th floor walk-up on the Upper East Side, where I only worked part-time because I had a full-time job, and which I ran before work, after work, on my lunch break. I was working in the Empire State Building, and I would literally go downstairs and make payphone calls. It was that long ago to run my business. And I'm fortunate to have had the support of all the retailers that buy from me and my amazing staff and the artisans in India that I use to make my pieces. I have to beg and plead to get them to do the small editions that I want, but it enables me to be able to keep showing new, interesting artwork. So some of you might be wondering, you might be here today because you're wondering, well, how do I wear the scarves that I already have? How are scarves going to help me? And that's part of what I want to tell you about, because it is really a magical accessory, like what Deb said. It works for all ages. My mom wears them, my daughter wears them, I wear them, maybe for different reasons, maybe we style them differently. But some of the ways that they can help you is that they help you feel more confident and comfortable. If you tend to get cold, if you tend to feel self-conscious maybe about particular things, you've got something that's infinitely stylable right in your handbag or tied around your handbag. And I'll tell you a few of the ways that I like to wear it, but it's basically, I like to think of it as my beautifier and my armor, because it can really protect you from the elements and from situations where you may not, I mean, it doesn't apply to me now because I had a mastectomy, but there were times when I needed to cover up. You know, I just felt like I needed more protection. So it helps you with those kinds of things. So they're incredibly functional. They provide comfort if you're warm or chilly. Popping a scarf from your handbag or tote bag means that you have the wrap to put on instead of a jacket, or if the air conditioning is too strong. If you're going to a party, for example, and you don't want to carry another layer, you can just bring it along and then it becomes your jacket when you leave. It can conceal and disguise, as I described before. Being a designer and working sometimes one-on-one with women, I hear about the issues that make them the most self-conscious. It could be the neck, the upper arm, the belly, the backside. So the scarf can conceal those zones and bring the attention up to your face, which is where you would like people to be paying attention if you're saying something important, or you're trying to make a point, or you're just trying to listen. The scarf frames the face and the mind. And to give an example about the versatility and the concealing, I run to yoga class and I often will meet a client or a friend after work, after class, so I'll just wear my black tank and my leggings and then tie the scarf into a vest, and then I'm covered and I feel, you know, more together. Scarves illuminate and add color, like a great shade of lipstick. I'm quite minimal. I don't have a lot of makeup skills, unlike some people I know. And the scarf becomes my way that I feel, okay, I'm finished. I feel more vibrant. I don't look as sleepy. And one of the questions I hear about, well, a scarf can enhance my complexion, but I don't really know which scarf to pick out, for example. And then just go with what's attractive to you. If you're in a retail store or you're shopping, you know, online, maybe you like to shop through used clothing, or you prefer to shop through Amazon, wherever it is that you choose to find your belongings, or if you're raiding the closet of a loved one, just go with what you respond to. Maybe it's something painterly, maybe it's something minimal, maybe it doesn't have a print at all, but it's the tactile quality that you like, because that will be your scarf. I can tell sometimes when I'm working with someone that's picked out a scarf, if it looks to me like it looks great, like it might pick up the highlights, or it might make their cheeks rosier, but that's only my opinion. But I'm happy to help you, you know, understand more after I show you some tricks. I can work with you one-on-one. And scarves can be cooling if you tend to get hot, or you're in the heat waves that happen in Manhattan and you're on the subway platform. If you just sprinkle water on your scarf, when the water evaporates, it cools. It's a scientific fact that water evaporating pulls heat out of the atmosphere. So if the atmosphere is around your neck, it's going to cool you down. It also feels nice, and it doesn't have to be like drenched in water, but just a little bit of water, and it will help a lot. You can also spray it with a familiar fragrance, or with something a fragrance that's got medicinal qualities, like lavender, to help you relax, for example. I know when I'm in a car, and the same for my daughter, we both feel nauseous, so we spray a fragrance on a scarf and then wear the scarf, and it's a way to just, you know, make you feel more calm, and it really works. So that's one option. It can also refresh you. So if you've got a scarf in your bag and you put it on after work or after a long day or after a sweaty bike ride, in my case, I've got a way to like smell great and feel great. Scarves can provide shade. So if you wear a large scarf and you cover up, it's going to protect your skin. If you're going to the beach, you can bring a scarf and throw it over your head. It provides like a great way to protect yourself. And it's also, if you're standing on line or anything like that, I always pack, in the summer months, I pack a hand loom cotton because I find that the most helpful. But it's an infinitely stylable item. So those are my main features. And then I'd like to show you some tricks. A couple of you noticed at the beginning that if you hold a scarf by the corner, whether it's a square or an oblong, it will make it longer. So this particular scarf is 40 by 70 inches. It's a design based on Georgia O'Keeffe, and it's got a lace overlay. And so if I hold it straight, it's 70 inches long. But if I hold it by a corner, it's a lot longer. And some may be overwhelmed by the sheer size of the piece, some of the pieces that I do. But when you hold it on the bias and then you shape it, it's small, it's manageable. And then the next trick is to put about half the length on one side and go around. And I always hold just above the chest so that it's not too long for my personal preference. And then you can cross the ends and tuck under, or you can leave it long. But by it being on the bias, it's gently folding, and it's not bulky. And using that same bias shape, you can then tie opposite corners into a small loop. And the size of the loop, if you're really tiny, you can make a bigger loop. But if you're a larger lady, then you can do a small loop, because that's going to change the size of the loop that you're creating. And here you can do an infinity scarf, or you can bring it over the shoulders and make more of a shoulder shrug. Like if I had on an evening dress or something and I just wanted to be more covered. So it's super easy. And you can even go 3 times if you wish. If you want more layer, more comfort around the neck. And with this shape, this is a little more avant-garde, but it can be handy. I've showed a few people this trick and they like it. You can put it over your shoulders like this, and it makes kind of a
Nice. Like it. Cute.
So and it'll stay on. So if I were to make the loop, the knot bigger, then you can see that the loop would be more petite. Okay, another knotting example. I just remembered this one yesterday when I was preparing what to say. So this one you take opposite corners. This works for a square or an oblong. And this is one of my favorites when I've got a function and I want to wear a sleeveless dress, but I want to have a jacket when I'm going someplace or I get cold. So this, in this case, you're tying opposite corners and you're creating a sleeve. And you can tie it in a bow or just a plain knot. Again, remember this is 70 inches. So I don't have a 70-inch wingspan, but it works somehow, magically. Isn't that great? So to make the sleeve shorter, you can You can make this bigger. And it can be a dramatic statement if you want, you know, you could tie it in a bow. You know, you can make it more fitted. And if you have a square like the one that you're personally wearing there, I think that's a square. No? If it's a 40-inch square, it works really nicely. It's more of a short-sleeved kind of look. Okay, and if you don't like to tie or anything like that, no problem. So you can just throw it over your shoulders. So it's completely different amount of coverage than I had when I tied it as a scarf, right? And in this case, you see the design. It still covers quite a lot. And if you're really tiny, then you can just take the extra and just bring it up around your neck. You know, and then you don't have, like, if you're really petite, some people are like, you know, they feel swallowed by their scarf. You just, it's quite friendly. And you just do like that. Okay, so let's say, as you mentioned, the beach is on my mind. Okay, so I'm going to the beach. I don't want to bring a lot of things, but I don't want to be letting it all hang out, so to speak. So you just take your oblong, and you can do several different things. This is quite cute if you want to be covered pretty fully. So I just took around my body, and then you can tie another knot. That way it won't come off. And you've got this little, and then you can bring this in the front so it looks a little bit like a ruffle. And you could belt it. You could do, you could make it look more like a garment. The other thing you can do is go around your neck this way. Right? So good trick, you know, not very complicated, but it looks, it's a good option for swimming, for like covering up. And this one, it just drapes like that. It takes a little more fussing because you've got to smooth things out. And then there are two simple ones. One you did yourself right before. So for this, you can just wrap as a pareo. So it's similar to how we tied up here, only you're tying low. And there are two different ways that I like to do it. So I kind of take till it's around my waist, then gather up a little extra fabric, tie it, and then use the excess to create a ruffle effect. And if it's too long, just retie it again and grab more fabric, grab more in your hands to make it shorter. You control how much fabric is there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
And then there's the super easy one, which is just tie it. And you can make it look asymmetrical, so you could tie it up much higher so that it's really revealing and very fitted, right? So it makes it really easy. Let's see what else I have. Okay. So the next one is the vest. So this is my yoga trick. So imagine you're just racing to go to yoga and you want to just cover up. So take your scarf, fold in half. So I've got one side that's got the fold, one side with the two ends, and just treat it as two ends that you're just tying together. And this is where some get confused. So then you're like, well, what do I do with that? So you find the knot, and then find the two edges that you originally treated as one, and you part them, and now it's beginning to look like something, right?
Cute.
So, and that is like, that's so easy, right? And it will fit, like it fits me, but it will fit many people. It just, and it looks fabulous on a curvier girl, it looks fine on a petite girl. Gemma's worn this look when she was like, I don't know, 10.
Yeah.
So it works on all sizes and shapes and ages.
How do you do that one again?
I'll do yours, okay? So, but it's super easy, and then you can also tie this in the front. It's a little funky, but I know someone that likes to do it this way. So you can tie it, and you can also go here. One of my coworkers does this, right? And our fabric's soft and sheer and light, so it tends to like to be tied and styled. And then for storing your scarves, if you're gonna go ahead and style it and you know you love it this way, you could just hang it up like all summer long. This is your vest. And you can also style it, leave it knotted, but the point is if you hang it over a hanger, even if you have very little closet space, if it's hanging on a hanger, you're more likely to use it and to see it. And if it's already ready to go, then how great. It's like takes no time to be even more fabulous. And then I'd like to show you the way Gemma wore her scarf today. So, oblong. When she first styled herself before we were leaving, it was styled straight on the grain, like this. And then she just went like this. And it's a little shorter, right? But it's starting with that. In the front, it's a different look, and it's good if you're cold because you've got all that right here. And then you can tie it again here. So if you're feeling like the scarves are really long, really overwhelming, then I'll unpack it for you. So take your oblong scarf and fold it and keep it on the straight grain. You can see how it's fuller and it's not as drapey and whatnot, but it's some people prefer a more tailored kind of controlled look. Like that. I'm gonna try this technique of a headscarf. I'm not super skilled at doing headscarves, but I know it's something that I'm asked frequently, and often when I try this in front of a mirror. So you're gonna have to bear with me. But I wanna try. And it's also a good example to just show you that I should know what I'm doing, but I still have to try. And same for you. If you're not sure about scarves, you just have to try. So I'm gonna cheat and use the mirror, my reflection here. So when I do a headscarf, I always try and do a fold. Why, I don't know, but I just do. And then I treat it like it's hair. Oops, excuse my belly. So in this case, I crisscrossed in the back, and then I'm gonna come around. And you can do that, but if it's getting unraveled and funny looking, just twist it. Kind of like, this is where it reminds me of playing with hair, because you just have to get it to cooperate. And if you twist it around, and then you tuck it either underneath the piece that you brought around in the beginning, or underneath the whole scarf, it can work. again, it may take a few tries. So that's one option. And the other super simple option involves a hair tie, even though it's not hair. Okay, so that, it works better if you don't have hair, because then it's sticking to your scalp. It's more forgiving. It's hard with my slippery, frizzy hair. But that's kind of the look. You get it somewhat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other way that you can do it is you start the same way, and then you take a hair tie, which start with it on your wrist so that you can utilize it. And then you can like slip the scarf through.
You make it look so easy.
Thank you. The hair ties that are chunkier, the fat ones that are about the size of, I don't know, linguine or something, they're bigger, they work better. But basically you want to just bring it around like a ponytail. And then it's, right? And then you've got that. It doesn't matter, like, I didn't have a mirror, so I've got weird things happening, but it's fine. It's kind of like a messy pony, right?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So, does anyone want me to demonstrate anything that they've seen or that they have a question?
Question.
Yeah.
It's silk, right?
That one is silk and cotton.
So how, can we wash it carefully?
That's a great question. So the question is, how do I take care of my scarf, or does it matter what fiber it is? So in general, if you buy an Hermes scarf, you should follow the instructions on that particular scarf. And in general, I'll say that for any scarf, just read the instructions and then make a call. But with my pieces, in general, they'll say dry clean or hand wash. So you can follow those instructions. By hand wash, it is best if you fill a sink with tepid water, put some soap in there, a minimal amount of soap, and then put your scarf in and gently agitate it. And then rinse it and line dry it. Like some people think a hand wash is just meaning you press the button on the washing machine. No. And I wouldn't trust anyone, like not trust, but like if it's your scarf and you want to hand wash it, then no one's better at doing it than you. Don't delegate it, because my husband's interpretation of what hand washes and mine are very different. And temperature is really critical. And if something has vibrant color and a white ground, take a precaution and rinse it in ice cold water, very cold water with salt, and that will keep the color make it more color fast from the very beginning. It may still run just a little bit, but it's probably not going to be a problem. Yeah.
Do you then wash it in the cold salted water? Or
No,
you just
good
soak it in
question.
that, or?
So you make the salt bath with cold water and salt, like a tablespoon of salt and a basin of water. You rinse it out in there, and then you wash in regular water.
So that's just to keep the color?
Mm-hmm.
That sets a color.
Mm-hmm. And don't use a lot of soap. Your scarves don't really get that dirty. And for my cashmere scarves, like this one, like
This one.
oh, I put it back in my bag. Okay, so for cashmere, this one is my winter scarf, my February, March, April scarf. It's been washed a lot of times. So I washed this one but in cold water, and then I put it in the dryer for a very brief amount of time. If you don't have access to a dryer, don't worry about it. But that will get any wrinkles out, because some scarves will wrinkle when you get them wet and they're bunched up in a drain, in a small area. So in that case, just shake it out and hang it up, and you can also pull like both directions and it will relax, or you can fold it in half. This is probably way too much information.
No.
But you can fold it in half and lay it on a counter. I'm just saying fold it in half because it is 70 inches long, but you can lay it on a counter the way your grandmother might have done handkerchiefs, but that the water and the surface, the smooth surface, will make it dry more flat. And you can always iron it or steam it or hang it in the room when you're showering. But the fact that it has silk can sometimes mean it will shrink or change in character, but this is, I just happen to know how that scarf behaves, to know that it doesn't matter. But if you were to wash silk chiffon, it would probably shrink and crinkle and get very odd looking because it shrinks differently. The warp and the weft shrink different ways. Sorry for all the like textile information.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the larger scarves, like the really, this one I guess is pretty big, but it's easier to work with the larger ones. It's the smaller ones can look very cute, and I'm always stumped by like what to do with them.
So a big scarf you feel is easy to style,
I do.
and a small scarf can be trickier.
For me.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm going to show you how to style a bandana. So some of you know of this as a bandana, some know of this, others know of this size as a kerchief or a neckerchief, or there are a lot of different names for it, but basically it's 20 inches, and there are about 12 ways to wear this shape, including ones that you'll probably find would be easy for, comfortable to wear for yourself. And we, my company and I produced a video that's on our Facebook page, Elizabeth Gillette, and it was shot in Bryant Park last summer. It's beautiful. But the 12 ways to wear are shown on the model. Yeah, so you can get the idea, because that's a lot of it is if somebody shows us how to do something, or we see how we want to wear, we see an example of somebody wearing something, we can probably do it ourselves. So that's the purpose of that video. So this is one way. Fold it on the diagonal. So it's a square, I just matched up the points, and then tie this in the back. So it's just like a little bit of coverage. I bike, I ride a bicycle to go to work, so I just go like that with cotton. And it can be helpful in a variety of situations, but because it protects your breathing. And the other thing you can do is to fold it again like that, then fold the point to the other side, and then tie it in the center front. And you can turn it over to the side. Those are my favorite ways, and I can work with you after we go through everything and find a good way for you. Mm-hmm. This is small, like 20 inches is small. There's also 40-inch size, which is there's more versatility to wear that size because you can wrap it around twice, for example. Right. Does anyone else have questions? You wanted to, you were asking how if I could do the best again? Yeah. Okay. Excuse me a moment. I'll come back up front. If that's okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is a different shape than what I had before. So this one is probably I don't know, 30 by 50, something like that. So again, I'm folding it in half so that the lengthwise, and then tying one side to the other, and tie it really small if you've got a smaller scarf, because it's got to fit around your arms. Then you find the two hemmed sides, and that becomes your opening.
Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. Oh, all right. I think I got it.
I know this is a ridiculous question, but I
Yeah.
find myself, when I have a scarf and the label always seems to end up showing, and it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, it
Is
happens
it-
to all of us.
And I'm wondering, is it just better to get a seam ripper and take out the label? So-
Yeah, if the
Just get rid of them.
label bothers you, then remove the label. You just have to be really careful.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
some
I know.
of our customers require, like our label is hand tacked in, but it's still tricky to remove it, so you have to go on top of the label side, not the fabric side, and remove it there. And if you can't remove the label, then just cut the label, and then you'll have those little.
Just a much smaller.
Yeah, some manufacturers require, like us, to stitch it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, depends on the retailer, so.
How about when they glue it on?
The glue?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Glue.
glue.
I've seen that.
Yeah, they glue it, and then you go to pull it off, and then it's got that glue tag, and I don't know how to get it off. How do you get the glue off?
How do you get the glue off, Gemma?
So I'm not sure if this works for everything, but one time I got glue on the carpet and we have to iron it. Like you have to iron it and then the glue will melt. So, and then I think you take like a cold, a warm rag over it to get the extra glue off. But that's what's worked for me. with
That's a
glue
great
and fabric.
idea, yeah.
So,
You had to warm it and then remove it. Thank you, Gemma.
Isn't a scarf too sheer for
Oh,
it?
burn it?
If it's a sheer scarf and it's got glue on it, be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you put a
like,
piece of material over that and then iron it and it sticks up on
I
top?
think you do a damp iron, right, a damp iron
yeah, like on a lower setting.
on a lower setting, yeah, and you can try.
What about a hairdryer? Would also melt it.
Maybe, I think the moisture of this,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, that's tricky. I would say Google it. Yeah, I know, like.
Take it to the glue specialist.
Yeah.
Like
If
glue
anyone
gun.
feels brave and wants to come up here and I help style them, like, or wheel you up here, or, yeah, I'm just thinking it may be helpful for the people that couldn't make it tonight and they're watching on Facebook Live, if they would like to know, well, I see how Elizabeth does it, but what about somebody else? Does anybody want to come up? Great. What's your name?
Mary.
Hi, Mary. I'm Elizabeth. So nice to meet you.
Thank you for doing this.
Okay, so for you, I would still go to my original style, especially because you're so tall, in a really good way. So I mean, my original trick, which is to hold it by a corner, and then yeah, so half the length on one side, and then go around.
Very smart.
I like it like that, but you could, mainly because you have the height to pull it off, and then you can tuck the ends under. And the other thing that's really nice, because you're wearing a sweater, just to show it the difference in if we were to do it straight. So this is the, not putting it on the bias, but to do it straight. And then maybe a little more narrow. And just to leave it long. Or do it Gemma's way, which is to do the,
And do you generally have these the same length? So yours is a little asymmetrical.
I always do mine asymmetrical. I'm still a big fan of the bias. But when you do it straight, you can do cute things like make a little loop or a bow. Some do not like to wear a scarf in the summer because it's hot. So what you can do is braid the ends around like this. And in this case, it would have been nice to have them symmetrical. And then you just keep going. And it turns it into kind of a rope look, which can be really cute.
Scarf necklace.
Nice. Yeah, and then it's touching less of you, so in the heat.
Yeah, but you still have some interest. Let's try the loop, the one that we did where we made an infinity loop.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was actually going to ask about infinity scarves.
Okay. How to wear those? Yeah, that's a good question. So to make the infinity, I do the oblong on the diagonal and then knot it. And then I create the loop before putting it on. Just like that. And if you already have an infinity scarf, you can, that's already pre-made, it's a loop, then you can wrap it twice and pop it over your head. I just find it personally easier if I style it before putting it on, just the way I did it here. And in some cases, you can create a triple loop. It depends on how much coverage you want. And the other thing you can do is, with your infinity, is you make the loop and then you slip it on, similar to how I did previous. So it looked more like a wrap. It's a little more awkward with this shape, but if it were a real infinity loop, then you can put it on like a jacket.
Do you have any infinity?
I didn't bring infinities.
Have here.
You have one? Thank you.
We're prepared.
What is that made?
This is modal.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you. So it's stretchy, and it's stretchy and it's solid, and you just put it on like a jacket. And you can create that look with your woven scarf as well. And
then to put this one on, you just twist it like you did.
yeah, exactly. So I would hold it by the seam and then go to the other side and then twist. You can do it this way too. I don't know why. And then you can stagger the loops or do it once more even. It's like the main thing is lipstick. You're welcome. Thank you. So Cherubi and I work together, and she has some expertise with headscarf tying.
Not really expert.
And she has other tricks. So I'd like to have her show you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cherubi. I've learned a lot from Elizabeth. I came from the Philippines. It's so hot there. We don't really use scarf, but I almost others just to cover the hair for traveling like that. But when I started working here, I started loving all the scarves that she has, and of course I have to learn also, especially the basic one. Would you like me to use yours? Because I know you're asking how to.
You know, I'm always asking.
Yeah, like this is always I share in the showroom to anybody who asks me. This is the basic that I really learned from Elizabeth, holding it in one corner just to have the nice bias like that, and it's really longer. And I always share my favorite simple styling, which I call the magic trick, which will start putting it like this, one side short by the waist, and then loop the long side gently like that. So we come up with a basic loop. Everybody knows this, right?
Yeah.
This is the magic trick. So either side, you pull one, not all the way, just create a little hole, and then put in and out in here. So you have a nice, do you see the magic beauty?
Yes.
That's why I call it the magic trick. So you can put it in at the center, or you can put it on the side, which is gorgeous. And also, if it's really cold, you can just adjust it closer to your neck. Or when it's like sunny, just to accessorize, you can always like open it for air circulation. And this is also good styling for bulky, bigger, like that one. Like so, you will just adjust with a corner, make it like even with that one to make it shorter. So you see the difference, the bias, right? So we'll make it a straight one, Gemma style. Yeah, we have a co-worker, assistant designer of Elizabeth, who loves it to be always like straight. She wants it even, so we'll have it straight. And you see the difference, it's really clean. So always like start by the waist, loop it gently like this. So see it's shorter, right? But you can see it's a little bulky, but it's okay. With the magic trick, still look good still. Just a little shorter, but still good. Okay? So this is my favorite styling. All season. Cold or warm. Yeah, so it's like that. And to enhance also the favorite for summer, spring, the vest style. You know already the vest style. That's really nice. So I will have another vest style. Especially it's good spring, summer, different styling. So you have it like this. You know, you're gonna tie in front. Just have it like that. In the middle. And then you twist it. 1, 2. And then tie it here like this. I just showed this morning with a tourist in our showroom. The family, which is so nice. So you have a nice.
Very cute.
Yeah, and you can open it a little.
If you want to show.
Yeah, show a little, but it has more shapes.
Yeah.
But it's good also to know the best style, easier or whatever you like, but it's good. And then you can also, of course, tie it in front like this again. So you have like your double vest. I like this color. I'm so happy that all that I just put on the seat, you love, and it goes to the right person. Right?
So what would you
just
wear
like
this with the tassels? Like it's very ethnic-y looking, kind of. It's very like What would you just wear it with? Something super simple?
I think the reason that I did a solid scarf for spring, because I love print, was because there's so much print. Like, you're wearing print. I just wanted to have it something
An option
solid.
for- yeah.
But if the tassels are bothering you, then you could take the tassels off.
Yeah.
But it's more like, I think of it in more like a weekend scarf, like jeans and t-shirt kind of thing. What do you
Super
think,
cute.
Gemma?
Like something simple.
Something simple.
All the attention goes
Yeah.
So all the attention can go to the
It's
scarf.
nice
That's
that
a
the
good
chair
idea.
was done right.
Yeah, it's viscose and then
And
it's
the
hand
pink.
embroidered.
Oh, pink and the pink and orange. I just love that
Yeah.
combo.
Oh, that's so nice. So I brought also my vintage from Elizabeth Gillette like 2 years ago fall. This is a square silk. So this is really nice for all square. We always put it as a triangle. This is bigger, so it's good for a headscarf. So we'll start with, I'm not an expert on that because I always I have a lot of hair, so it's like too much to put more. But of course, when it's needed, I have to learn. So this one, triangle, and then the triangle will be in front. And then you just have to gather. Obviously, not expert with this, right? And I need a mirror too.
You need someone to hold your front triangle down?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's like I have to put that on. Just like to tighten. Oops. Yeah, that's why the silk is not so. Yeah, it needs like a head cup, but it's like having a head cup is like having it more heat. But with the square that is not silk, that should be better. Should I like this? Oh, there's a mirror. I don't think
Also, the
I
window
have to
has
like
good reflection.
fill it like this. It has to like this and tuck in here. And this one is you have to just pull it back and tuck it like this.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. We really need a mirror for this. And
Like a
I don't
mirror
know
in the
because
back.
it's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the nice one is you can tuck everything in or out. Just like this.
It's cute.
Very
It gives
simple,
good
right?
shape.
It does. It's super
Very
cute.
simple. But better if it's a what's this?
Cotton.
Not silk.
Cotton
Yeah,
or viscose,
cotton.
yeah.
But when it's cold, silk is really warm. It's really feels good.
Oh, yeah.
So with the square, this big square, what Elizabeth also showed earlier, the vest or the shrug, this is also perfect. So you just tie both ends so that it will be even. I use this styling when I also wear an evening dress, but I'm always cold, so I need something magic in my bag. So okay, I need it. And then everybody's like, "Whoa, where did you get that?" In my bag. Yeah, I know. Of course, Elizabeth Gillette. So you have these two armhole, and it's really nice as a shrug, right? With the pattern. Yeah, this batch of silk we had before, it was really good with Elizabeth design, so perfect. Cause
Yeah,
they
right.
see, we just want to see the back because the design is there. You can see. This one has not much, but it's a little. Yeah, it's really pretty. I always get the last. Take the best for last. And also with this one of the styling that was loved with a square as big as this, you can make it as a halter.
Yeah.
So either side, you remember? Yes, you just have to tie here, which just, especially when it's really summer, spring, it's hot, tie there, and then really just have to have the sides here to be secured, even if you don't have bra. Just this, or a tube, or tank top, plain white, cool you down, but you're accessorized with a nice halter. And that's so pretty. Right. And you can do it with also the big scarf. Just make it a mouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and even this is very simple. I usually have it even just to put it like this. Just like that. It's pretty. Put a belt, it's pretty. And then of course as a scarf, more. Triangle will be in front. Just
This is a
gather
good way
around.
for you.
And then just have it like cross here. Just like that. And then have it one knot here. So pretty. Okay. That's it.
It's almost like your magic trick. But
The magic trick will always be the magic trick. That's the first, because it's easy to style, but when it's done, it's really whoa. It's always like a wow. That's why it's a magic trick. It gives magic, beauty of magic there. And of course, with this loop that Elizabeth, we have a lot of loop before. Viscos like that, so that was really nice. And then she turned it into a kimono. she combined these two and then have a break. So it was like a long kimono. It was like wow. taken from the restroom. Every time she goes out from the restroom, she has the idea. Oh, what if I do this one? Writing before we forget. Yeah, that's how the birth of the kimono. Because we do the scarf to make a vest, and then of course others, that's so complicated, we'll make it easy. Can you make it easy? Okay, so that's the time that she made, okay, we'll have a kimono, slip in your arm, and you have a kimono. And then of course the kimono you can turn into a scarf just by holding in one corner and then loop around like a scarf, then it's done. And yeah, that's back to this one. So as a loop, 1, 2, or 3, and then as a shrug, you can also make this as a halter. Like you have it here.
Mm-hmm.
Like my foot thinner person. Like for Gemma, I think. Yeah, that's the use of our tie. I have a tie, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot, as Elizabeth said. Ask Google. Everything is there, YouTube and somehow like that. So that's where we learn. Aside from our favorites, of course, we have our own favorites. So that's it for now. Any questions? Wow.
So no one's doing the 50s like Italian convertible scarf with the over the head and then tied around
So
the back.
cute.
It is cute.
Yes.
It is cute.
Absolutely, you could do that. This one's really good for that. Do it. This one's really good.
The silk scarf.
Just like this, right?
Oh no,
Like
that's
that.
around the neck.
Hers was like, it
that
was
way.
one that they used to put, they did it a lot with like chiffon
You
scarves.
gotta have
It
your
seems
hair
to
in
me.
like, you gotta have like really big hair though, I feel like.
Oh, I got
Oh, like
Check you.
that.
Totally, right?
Yes.
Then,
Right,
it's,
I
then
love
around the,
that.
And then
then
tie it
the
in
back,
the
then
back.
it's like around the back.
Oh,
Yes,
That was big.
That's like Nana's, yeah.
Band and then tie it in the front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you wanna show us?
Okay, I'm bangs, so this might not be good.
That's perfect.
And I have like hair things going
But
on.
you're
Okay,
right.
let's
Yeah, there's
try
like
this.
scarf styling.
But it's like, okay. I got a lot of hair happening. Okay.
I'll help.
And then you would tie it in the front. This is what I'm talking about. It's like you would bring it around the back and then tie it in the front. I don't know how this looks, but there you go.
That's really cute. I think it was like what your mom, is this your,
Yeah.
your mom, right? She went around like that and came around the back and then it came over the top. So
Yeah.
the head was
It's like
always
backwards.
closed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like one more step going up.
So
Yeah.
this, Jenna, this is a, and then.
Tie it underneath. Or
And then bring it in the
then
back,
bring it in
right?
the back. Oh no, I guess you couldn't. I guess you'd run out of space.
Oh, like
Well,
this.
maybe
At some point.
Oh, like this, right?
Oh, like she's doing it. So like,
Oh,
yeah, that looks. And you need a
Oh,
big
yeah.
pair of sunglasses for that
That
one.
kind of looks
I
like
love that.
this with a cap in a good way.
It's a swimming cup.
You know, we should look at
Like
videos
a shower
from
cap, I mean.
African women.
Yes.
Some
Oh,
countries,
yes.
oh my God, they
So
wear.
with the
It's
hair.
It's amazing what they do.
beautiful.
That's true.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, this is intense. I like what you're doing.
Yeah, this could work.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Okay. Yeah, I think the silk square is a good headscarf
Yeah.
option. That one's so cute with the
It is
fringes.
cute. The color's
With
great.
a,
Oh,
yeah.
It's so cute.
It blends with my outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's model. It's easier because it's not so slippery. Easy to.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same color for her. Good.
Thank you for the scarf.
Did I help you with your styling question?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I'll call you.
Okay.
Scarf doctor.
Alrighty. Well, it's been a pleasure working with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.